The screen of my husband's old phone illuminates my face in the darkness of our bedroom closet. 3 years after his death, and here I am, clutching his iPhone like it holds the answers to questions I never thought to ask. I'm Elizabeth, Liz to those who know me well, and what I'm about to discover will shatter everything I thought I knew about my family. Found something interesting? Nathan's voice cuts through the silence, making me jump. My eldest son leans against the doorframe, his silhouette blocking the hallway light. There's something in his tone that sends a chill down my spine. Just going through some old things. I slip the phone into my pocket, but Nathan's eyes follow the movement, thinking about donating them. He steps into the closet, too close for comfort. After 3 years seems sudden. Nothing sudden about grief, Nathan. I move past him, forcing casualness into my steps. Sometimes it takes years to let go. Or to start digging. His words follow me down the hallway. In the kitchen, I pour myself a glass of wine with trembling hands. The texts I found moments ago swim through my mind. Conversations between James, my late husband, and Mark Reynolds, his supposed best friend. Numbers, accounts, threats. My phone buzzes. Lucas, my younger son. Mom, you okay? Nathan just called me, said you were acting weird. I stare at the message. Of course Nathan would call Lucas. He always does when he's worried I might discover something. I type back. All good. Having dinner with Sarah tomorrow. Love you. Sarah, my sister-in-law, needs to see these messages. As a lawyer, she'll understand their implications better than I can. But there's something else gnawing at me. Nathan's name appeared in those texts too many times to be coincidental. The doorbell rings, startling me from my thoughts. Through the peephole, I see Emily, Nathan's fiancée, standing on my porch with that perfect smile of hers. Elizabeth! She hugs me as I open the door, her designer perfume overwhelming. I was just passing by and thought I'd check on you. Nathan mentioned you seemed upset earlier. I force a smile. That's sweet of you both, but I'm fine. Just sorting through some memories. Of course. Her eyes dart past me into the house. Mind if I use your bathroom? These pregnancy hormones, you know. I gesture toward the hallway, watching as she disappears inside. My future daughter-in-law, carrying my first grandchild, and yet something about her presence here feels calculated. When she emerges, her smile seems different. Thanks. Oh, and Nathan asked me to grab that old phone of James's if you still had it. He mentioned wanting to check for some old family photos. My hand instinctively touches my pocket. I haven't come across it yet. Still lots of boxes to go through. No worries, she chirps, but her eyes narrow slightly. I'm sure it'll turn up. After she leaves, I pull out James's phone again. The last message from Mark catches my eye. N knows everything. We need to move faster. Your wife can't find out about the transfers. My fingers hover over Sarah's number. Tomorrow suddenly feels too far away. But as I reach for my keys, another text from Nathan appears. Mom, Emily said you seemed tired. Get some rest. We can talk about Dad's things tomorrow. I set the phone down, my mind racing. They're watching me, trying to control what I discover and when. But they don't know what I've already found, or what I'm capable of doing with that information. 3 years of grieving my husband, and now I'm about to uncover just how many lies died with him, and how many are still living in my own home. Sarah's law office feels too sterile for the conversation we're about to have. I slide James's phone across her desk, my finger hovering over the messages that have haunted me since yesterday. Before you read these, I say, I need to know if attorney-client privilege applies to sisters-in-law. Sarah's eyes narrow as she picks up the phone. It does when I'm officially retained. She pulls out a notepad, writes 1 on it, and slides it to me with a pen. Sign here. I do, and watch her face as she scrolls through the messages. Her professional mask slips for just a moment, showing something between shock and anger. Nathan's involved in this? She asks, though it's not really a question. That's what I need to find out. I lean forward. Emily showed up at my house last night asking for that phone, said Nathan wanted it for family photos. Sarah's laugh is sharp. Family photos? Right. She sets the phone down carefully. These messages suggest James and Mark were moving substantial amounts of money. The timestamps. She pauses, checking dates. These continued right up until James's accident. The word accident hangs between us. I've never questioned it before, but now. My phone buzzes. Nathan. Mom, we need to talk. Coming over for dinner tonight. Important business opportunity to discuss. He's coming over tonight, I tell Sarah. Wants to discuss business. Don't let him know what you've found. Sarah starts writing rapidly. We need to track these transfers before... The office door opens. Mark Reynolds stands there, his usual confident smile faltering when he sees me. Sarah, I had a quick question about... He trails off, his eyes fixed on James's phone on the desk. Mark. I stand slowly. What a coincidence. Elizabeth. He recovers quickly. Too quickly. How are you holding up? Nathan mentioned you've been going through James's things. Of course Nathan mentioned it. Did he tell you what I found? Mark's smile doesn't waver, but his hand tightens on the doorknob. I should come back later, Sarah. Elizabeth, always good to see you. After he leaves, Sarah's typing furiously on her computer. He'll warn Nathan. Good. I gather my things. Let him. I want to see what story they come up with. That evening, I'm chopping vegetables when Nathan arrives. He brings wine, expensive wine, and Emily trails behind him, already playing with her engagement ring like she always does when she's nervous. Mom, Nathan starts, pouring 3 glasses. We need to talk about Dad's estate. What about it? I keep chopping, not looking up. I've been thinking about his legacy, about building something that would make him proud. Nathan's voice has that smooth quality it gets when he's pitching something. I've found investors willing to back a new venture, but we need initial capital. How much? I ask, finally looking at him. Just what's in the trust, temporarily. He smiles, James's smile, but somehow wrong. It's a sure thing, Mom. Emily's father's firm is backing it. Emily nods enthusiastically. Daddy says it's the opportunity of a lifetime. I set down the knife. Like the opportunity Mark Reynolds discussed with Dad? The silence is absolute. Nathan's smile freezes, then transforms into something harder. You've been talking to Mark? No. I reach for my phone, pull up the messages. But Dad was. Right until the day he died. Emily stands abruptly. I should give you two some privacy. Stay. Nathan's voice is sharp. Mom's obviously confused about some old business dealings. The only thing I'm confused about, I say, is whether you started helping them steal from us before or after your father died. Nathan's glass hits the counter hard enough to crack. You have no idea what you're talking about. Dad's business was complicated. Was the accident complicated too? The words escape before I can stop them. Nathan's face goes white, then red. How dare you? I loved Dad. Everything I'm doing for this family. Nathan, Emily tugs at his arm. Maybe we should go. He shakes her off. No. Mom needs to understand. Dad's way of doing things, your way of doing things, it's not enough. The world doesn't work like that anymore. I look at my son, really look at him, and for the first time, I see a stranger. Get out of my house. Mom, get out. Both of you. After they leave, I text Sarah. It's worse than we thought. Nathan knows everything. Her response comes quickly. Don't confront him again. I'm pulling the trust records tomorrow. And Elizabeth, be careful. Mark's been asking questions about James's accident report. Lucas's studio apartment smells of turpentine and coffee when I arrive with Sarah's files. He takes one look at my face and clears his easel from the kitchen table. You found something bad, he says, not a question. I spread out the bank statements Sarah uncovered. Your brother and Mark Reynolds have been systematically draining Dad's estate for months, even before. My hands shake as I point to a series of transfers. The last one was made an hour before the accident. Lucas studies the papers, his artist's hands tracing the numbers. Nathan always said Dad promised to fund his business ventures. These aren't business ventures. I pull out another document. Sarah traced the money. It's being funneled through shell companies, then disappearing into offshore accounts. Mom, Lucas's voice is gentle. What aren't you telling me? Before I can answer, my phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number. Meet me at James's grave. Noon. Come alone. Mark. Lucas reads it over my shoulder. You can't go. I have to. I gather the papers. Mark knows something about the accident. I saw his face when I mentioned it to Nathan. Then I'm coming with you. No. I touch his cheek, remembering when he was small enough to carry. I need you to do something else. Go to Emily's father's office. Find out what you can about their investment firm. Emily's father? Lucas frowns. What does he have to do with this? Nathan said he's backing the venture, but according to Sarah's research, his firm declared bankruptcy 3 months ago. The cemetery is empty when I arrive, except for Mark standing at James's grave. He looks older than I remember, haunted. Elizabeth. He doesn't turn around. I was hoping you wouldn't dig this deep. Tell me about the accident. It wasn't supposed to happen that way. His voice cracks. James found out what we were doing. He was going to expose everything. My world tilts. What are you saying? Nathan came to me first, 6 months before, had this brilliant investment scheme, needed startup capital. Mark laughs bitterly. I saw an opportunity, used him to access James's accounts, but James figured it out. And you killed him. No, Mark turns, face ashen. God, no. We just needed him to back off. Nathan said he'd talk to him, make him understand. The brake lines, that wasn't part of the plan. The ground seems to sway beneath my feet. Nathan tampered with the brakes? He said it would just scare James, force him to listen. But the road that night? Mark stops, looking past me. Elizabeth, behind you. I turn to see Nathan standing there, Emily beside him. His face is a mask I don't recognize. I wondered how long it would take you to crack, Mark. Nathan's voice is ice. Mum, you shouldn't believe everything you hear. Mark's been unstable since Dad died. Guilt does funny things to people. Nathan, Emily tugs his sleeve. We should go. No. He shakes her off. Mum needs to understand. Everything I did, everything Dad died trying to stop, it was all for us. The family legacy he was too scared to build. You killed him. The words taste like ash. Your own father. I tried to reason with him. Nathan's composure cracks. He wouldn't listen, just like you won't listen. The money's gone, Mom. All of it. And if you don't help me fix this, Emily's father will destroy what's left of our family's reputation. My father? Emily steps back. Nathan, what are you talking about? The bankruptcy was a front, he snarls. Your father's been laundering money through my companies. If I don't deliver, he'll expose everything. I watch my son unravel, this stranger wearing Nathan's face. Behind him, Emily backs away, horror dawning in her eyes. Mark stands frozen at James's grave. My phone buzzes. A text from Lucas. Mom, get out of there. Emily's father isn't bankrupt. He's FBI. They've been investigating Nathan and Mark for months. I look up to see Nathan reading the same message over Emily's shoulder. Our eyes meet, and in that moment, I see the little boy who once needed me to check under his bed for monsters. But now I know where the real monsters are. Nathan, I say softly, what have you done? The FBI office is sterile and cold, much like the truth I'm about to share. Agent Sanders, Emily's father, sits across from me, his expression unreadable as Sarah arranges documents on the table between us. Mrs. Turner, he says, we need to discuss your options. Options. Such a clean word for such a messy situation. You mean whether I'll testify against my own son? Nathan's involvement goes deeper than you know. He slides a folder across the table. These transactions suggest James's death wasn't the impulsive act Mark described. My hands won't stop shaking as I open the folder. Insurance policies, offshore accounts, a second will I've never seen before. He planned it, I whisper, months in advance. Mom. Lucas's voice from the doorway makes me turn. He looks exhausted, paint still under his fingernails from his latest piece. Emily's here. She enters like a ghost, her engagement ring conspicuously absent. Elizabeth, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. Not at first. When did you figure it out? The question comes out sharper than I intend. 3 months ago. She won't meet my eyes. Nathan started talking about James's accident differently, like it was necessary, when I told Dad, "You were already working with the FBI." The pieces click into place. That's why you pushed for the pregnancy announcement. We needed Nathan to accelerate his plans. Agent Sanders' voice is professional, detached. The pregnancy gave him a reason to push for access to the remaining trust funds. My laugh sounds hollow even to me. And I thought he was just being an eager father. Sarah touches my arm. Elizabeth, you need to decide. Nathan's meeting with Mark tonight. The FBI can move in, but your testimony would destroy him. I finish for her. But he destroyed himself the moment he decided to kill his father. My phone buzzes. Nathan. Mom, I can explain everything. Meet me at the house. Just you. Please. I show the message to Agent Sanders. He nods to someone outside the room and suddenly there's activity everywhere. Agents donning vests, checking weapons. Mrs. Turner, Agent Sanders says, we can handle this without you. You don't have to. Yes, I do. I stand, feeling older than my years. He's still my son. The drive home feels eternal. FBI vehicles shadow me discreetly, but I've never felt more alone. Lucas wanted to come, but this is between Nathan and me. It always has been, really. This dance of expectations and disappointments. The house is dark when I arrive, except for the kitchen light. Through the window, I see Nathan sitting at the counter, head in his hands. For a moment, he looks 16 again, worried about college applications and basketball tryouts. Then he looks up and the illusion shatters. You're wearing a wire. It's not a question. Yes. He nods slowly. Did you ever wonder why Dad never let me into the business? Why he always kept me at arm's length? He was protecting you. He was controlling me. Nathan's fist hits the counter. Everything I did was wrong. Too aggressive, too risky. But look what his caution got him. A middling company and a legacy of mediocrity. It got him killed. The words hang between us. By his own son. I gave him a chance to understand. Nathan's voice turns pleading. Mum, everything I did was to make us stronger, to build something worthy of the Turner name. And Emily? Was she part of the plan? Something flickers in his eyes. Where is she? With her father, at the FBI office. The change is instant. Nathan's face hardens and I see James's killer emerge. You're working with them. No, Nathan, I'm your mother. I'm trying to save what's left of you. Save me. He laughs, and it's a terrible sound. Mom, there's nothing left to save, but I can still save you. From what's coming next. His hand moves toward his jacket, and suddenly I understand. This isn't about explanation or redemption. It's about silencing the last witness who could destroy everything he's built. Nathan, I say softly, backing toward the door. What would your father think? Let's ask him. He pulls out the gun. After all, you'll be seeing him soon. The gallery walls are stark white, making Lucas's paintings burn with even more intensity. I watch him adjust the lighting on his centerpiece. A fractured family portrait where every face is turned away except one. My face staring out from the canvas with eyes that know too much. The opening's tomorrow, Lucas says, not turning around. Nathan will come. The FBI will be here too. I step closer to the painting. Hidden in plain sight, just like the truth was all these years. Mom! Lucas finally faces me. You don't have to be here. Sarah can handle... I need to see his face. My voice sounds strange even to me. When everything falls apart, I need to watch it happen. My phone buzzes. Mark, Nathan knows about tomorrow. He's not planning to surrender quietly. Before I can respond, Emily appears at the gallery entrance, her face pale. Elizabeth, we have a problem. Nathan's been to see my father. What did he offer? Everything. She moves closer, lowering her voice. Names, dates, accounts, everything about Mark's operation, in exchange for immunity. The betrayal shouldn't surprise me anymore, but it still cuts deep. And your father? Refused. But Nathan... She glances at the painting. He laughed. Said if he's going down, he's taking everyone with him, including Lucas. My blood runs cold. What does Lucas have to do with this? The gallery. Emily's hands twist together. Nathan's been laundering money through art sales. He's been using Lucas's name, his reputation, for months. Lucas drops his tools with a clatter. That's why those collectors were so eager to pre-purchase everything. They weren't real buyers. No, Emily looks away. They were Nathan's partners. Tomorrow night, when the sales go through, Lucas would be implicated in everything. The pieces click into place with horrible clarity. Nathan's using his own brother as a fall guy. My phone buzzes again. Sarah. Police found Mark. He's dead. Apparent suicide, but nothing about this family is what it appears to be anymore. Cancel the opening, I tell Lucas. We'll find another way to... No. Lucas's voice is firm. This ends tomorrow. All of it. He turns to the painting, and I see James in his stance, in his determination. The same determination that got his father killed. Lucas, please. My voice breaks. I can't lose both my sons. You already lost one. He touches the canvas, tracing the turned-away faces. The brother I knew died the day he decided to kill Dad. What's left is just... shadow. Emily's phone chimes. Her face goes ashen as she reads. Nathan's just posted online. He's exposed everything, the money laundering, Mark's death, all of it. But he's twisted it, made it look like Lucas was the mastermind, using his art to hide the operation. The evidence... I start, but she cuts me off. Doesn't matter, the story's out there now. By tomorrow night, everyone will believe Lucas is guilty. I look at my younger son, still standing before his work. The gallery lights cast his shadow long and dark against the white walls, like a prophecy of what's to come. Then we change the ending, I say, an idea forming. Nathan wants to destroy his brother's reputation. Let's give him exactly what he expects. Mom? Lucas turns, wary. The opening continues as planned, but instead of your usual pieces, I gesture to the family portrait, we tell the real story, every painting, every piece, the truth about Nathan, about James, about all of it. He'll try to stop us, Emily warns. I'm counting on it. I pull out my phone, texting Agent Sanders. Nathan wants an audience for his revenge. Tomorrow night, he'll have one. Lucas studies me for a long moment. This could destroy everything. The gallery, my career. Your father died protecting this family's secrets. I touch his cheek. Maybe it's time we stopped protecting them too. As I leave the gallery, I pass the family portrait one last time. In the harsh lighting, the turned-away faces seem to mock me, while my painted eyes stare back with a challenge I finally understand. Tomorrow we all face forward. Tomorrow we all see the truth, even if it kills us. The gallery buzzes with voices and champagne glasses, a perfect facade of normalcy. I watch from near Lucas's centerpiece as Sarah positions the FBI agents among the crowd. Agent Sanders stands by the entrance, Emily at his side, both pretending to admire a particularly haunting piece. Nathan as a child, his face half in shadow. He's here, Lucas murmurs, appearing at my elbow. Nathan moves through the crowd like smoke, greeting people with that perfect smile of his. The smile that convinced everyone, including me, for so long. He pauses at each painting, his expression growing darker as he realizes what Lucas has done. Turned every canvas into a piece of evidence, every brush stroke an accusation. Quite a show, Nathan says, reaching us. Though I expected more subtlety from you, little brother. Like the subtlety of framing me for money laundering. Lucas doesn't back down. Speaking of money, Nathan's eyes find mine. The transfers are already processing. By midnight, the gallery's accounts will be empty. Every sale, every commission, gone, along with proof of where it all really went. My hand tightens on my glass. It's over, Nathan. The FBI are too late. He smiles, genuine this time. Did you really think I'd come here without insurance? Check your phone, Mom. The text message makes my blood freeze. Video footage of James the night he died, arguing with Nathan in his office. The timestamp matches the accident perfectly. I've set it to release to every major news outlet at midnight, Nathan continues. Dad's last moments, proof that Lucas knew everything about the money laundering, the grieving artist corrupted by greed, they'll love it. That video's edited, I say, but my voice shakes. Prove it. Nathan sips his champagne. Oh, wait, you can't, because the original footage died with Mark. Funny how evidence has a way of disappearing. Lucas steps forward, but I grab his arm. Across the room, I see Agent Sanders moving closer, Emily's face tight with tension. You'd destroy your own brother? I ask. Everything he's worked for? Like Dad tried to destroy me. Nathan's mask slips, showing something raw beneath. He chose Lucas over me every time, the good son, the artist, while I had to fight for every scrap of approval. So you killed him. I freed us. Nathan's voice drops lower. From his control, his disappointment. I could have freed you too, Mom, if you'd just trusted me. Trust you. The laugh tears from my throat. You murdered your father, set up your brother. How many more people have to suffer for your freedom? Just one more. He sets down his glass. At midnight, when those transfers complete, Lucas's career ends. The scandal will destroy him. Unless what? Unless you confess. Nathan's eyes gleam. To everything. The money laundering, Mark's death, all of it. A mother's desperate attempt to protect her favourite son, using the other as a scapegoat. The press will eat it up. The gallery seems to spin around me. You want me to confess to your crimes? I want you to choose finally between your sons. He checks his watch. You have 10 minutes before the video releases. 10 minutes to save Lucas's future. I look at Lucas, seeing James in his eyes, in his strength. Then at Nathan, my firstborn, now a stranger wearing my son's face. Mom, don't, Lucas whispers. But I'm already stepping forward, reaching for Nathan's phone. He lets me take it, that triumphant smile growing. Agent Sanders, I call out, my voice carrying across the gallery. I believe this is what you've been waiting for. Nathan's smile freezes as FBI agents converge. The phone's locked. You can't. James taught me something you never learned, I say, watching his face. Always have a backup plan. I press my thumb to the phone's scanner. It unlocks instantly. Dad gave me access to everything after he discovered what you were planning, I tell him, including this phone. The real video is here, showing exactly what happened that night. Nathan lunges for the phone, but it's too late. On every screen in the gallery, the truth begins to play, and I watch my son's perfect world crumble, knowing that in saving one son, I've lost the other forever. The holding cell's fluorescent lights make Nathan look older, harder. I sit across from him while Sarah stands by the door, her legal pad untouched. The DA's offering a deal, I say, sliding the papers across the metal table. In exchange for information about Mark's death. Nathan's laugh is hollow. Still trying to save me, Mom? After everything? I'm trying to understand. My hands rest flat on the table, steady now. Mark's confession was found in his car. He claimed he manipulated you, used your ambition. Used me? Nathan leans forward, chains rattling. I used him. Just like I used Emily, used Lucas's gallery. Dad taught me well. Everything's a tool if you know how to grip it. Your father never... My father was weak. His fist hits the table. He had everything, connections, power, respect, and he wasted it on morality. On Lucas's art. On your perfect little family. Sarah steps forward. Nathan, think carefully about what you say next. Why? His eyes lock onto mine. Because it might hurt Mom's feelings? Because it might ruin what's left of our family name? He laughs again. Tell me, Mom, how does it feel knowing you raised a murderer? The question hits like a physical blow, but I keep my voice steady. I raised 2 sons. One of them killed his father. The other one helped catch him. Lucas, Nathan spits the name. The golden child. Did he tell you he knew? About the money laundering? About Emily working with the FBI? He knew for months. Watched me dig my own grave. He tried to warn you. He tried to control me. Just like Dad did. Nathan's mask cracks completely. Do you know what Dad said that night? That I was a disappointment, that everything I touched turned toxic. So I showed him just how toxic I could be. My hand moves to my throat, where James's wedding ring hangs on a chain. You tampered with his brakes. I gave him a choice. Nathan's voice drops to a whisper. Back off, or take the consequences. He chose wrong. And Mark? Outlived his usefulness. Started having regrets, talking about confessions. A cold smile. Amazing how guilty people get when they realise they're working with a murderer. Sarah's pen scratches across her pad. Nathan notices his smile widening. Writing this all down, Aunt Sarah? Good. Make sure you include how Mum's perfect parenting created this monster. How Dad's constant disappointment shaped me. How Lucas's talent poisoned everything. No. I stand slowly. You don't get to blame us for your choices. Choices? He laughs. Like the choice you made at the gallery, sacrificing one son to save the other. I chose justice. You chose Lucas. Like always. His chains rattle as he stands. But here's what you don't know, Mom. That video you found, the one that exposed everything, I wanted you to find it. My breath catches. What? Dad's phone, the texts, Emily's involvement, all of it was bait. I needed you to play your part, to be so focused on saving Lucas that you wouldn't see the bigger picture. Sarah steps forward. Nathan, stop talking. But he continues, eyes fever bright. While you were all focused on the gallery, on the money laundering, my real operation was moving offshore. Everything Dad built, everything he protected, it's gone. And the best part? It's all legal. Because you, Mom, signed it all away 3 months ago. The memory hits me. Papers Nathan had me sign during Lucas's first gallery showing, when I was distracted with pride and champagne. Power of attorney, he says softly. You gave me everything, and now I own what's left of Dad's legacy, what's left of his precious reputation. Sarah's already on her phone, but I can see in her face it's too late. I look at my son, this stranger wearing Nathan's face, and finally understand. This wasn't about money or power or even revenge. It was about destroying everything James loved, piece by piece, starting with me. The prison visiting room smells of industrial cleaner and stale coffee. Nathan sits across from me, orange jumpsuit stark against his pale skin. This isn't a scheduled visit. He requested it, his first contact since the sentencing 6 weeks ago. You look tired, he says. Selling a company takes work. I keep my voice neutral. Even one that's been gutted. Is that why you're here? To tell me how you salvaged Dad's legacy? I'm here because you asked. I study his face, searching for my son beneath the stranger's mask. Though I don't know why. Nathan's fingers drum the table, a nervous habit from childhood. Emily's pregnant, for real this time. The news hits like a physical blow. How far along? 4 months. She didn't know during everything. He won't meet my eyes. She's moving away, doesn't want the baby growing up with my name. I think of James, of all the grandchildren he'll never meet. What do you want from me, Nathan? The truth. His voice cracks slightly. Did Dad ever say he was proud of me? Even once? He was proud of who you could have been. The words taste bitter. But you chose to become someone else. Someone stronger. Someone alone. Silence stretches between us. Through the window, I watch Lucas in the parking lot, waiting by the car. He's sold every painting from that gallery showing except one, the family portrait with the turned-away faces. Lucas's new gallery opens next week, I say, in Dad's old office building. Nathan's laugh is hollow. Fitting. The prodigal son inherits everything. He inherited nothing. I sold everything you left us, donated it all. Now he looks at me. Your father's legacy isn't buildings or bank accounts. It's the choice between right and wrong. The choice you failed to make. And you? His eyes narrow. Did you make the right choice, turning in your own son? I chose justice, like your father would have. Justice? Nathan leans back. Tell me, Mom, was it justice when you signed those papers without reading them? When you let your pride in Lucas blind you to what I was doing? When you— Stop! I stand, my chair scraping loud against the floor. You don't get to rewrite this story. Your father is dead because of your choices. Mark is dead because of your choices. That's your legacy, Nathan. Not Dad's company, not Lucas's success. Just choices and consequences. He's silent for a long moment. The baby's a boy. The words hang between us like smoke. I reach into my bag, pull out an envelope. What's this? Letters. From your father to you. He wrote them every birthday, never sent them. I place them on the table. I found them in his study last week. Nathan's hand shakes as he touches the envelope. Why show me these now? Because you need to understand what you destroyed. I move toward the door. And because that baby deserves to know there was good in his family, once. Mom, his voice stops me. Will you tell Lucas about the baby? Yes. Will you tell him about these letters? I look back at my son, seeing for the first time a glimmer of uncertainty in his eyes. No. Some secrets should stay buried with their consequences. Outside, Lucas helps me into the car. You okay? I touch James's ring around my neck. Drive to the gallery. I want to see that painting again. At the gallery, I stand before the family portrait. But now, in the harsh light of truth, I see what I missed before. The turned-away faces aren't hiding. They're looking towards something in the distance, something beyond the frame. While my painted eyes stare straight ahead, seeing everything, bearing witness. Just like James would have wanted. Lucas touches my shoulder. Ready to go home? Yes, I say, turning away from the past and its shadows. I'm ready. Behind us, the painting watches with knowing eyes, holding its secrets close, just as our family always has. Just as we always will.
The phone vibrates against my desk, my mother's name flashing on the screen like a warning sign. I let it ring 4 times, each buzz drilling into my skull before I finally answer. Millie, darling, have you heard the news about Rachel? Her voice carries that familiar breathless excitement reserved exclusively for my sister's accomplishments. I glance at the promotion letter sitting on my desk, the one I'd been planning to share. No, Mother. What news? She's been offered a partnership at Anderson & Mills. Can you believe it? At her age, your father and I are absolutely over the moon. The words tumble out in a rush, each syllable another nail in my coffin of invisibility. That's wonderful. I trace the embossed letterhead of my own achievement, the words Chief Technology Officer swimming before my eyes. Actually, Mother, I wanted to tell you— Oh, and that's not even the best part. James proposed last night. We're planning an engagement party for next weekend. You'll need to clear your schedule, of course. My fingers curl around the promotion letter, crumpling its edges. Next weekend? I have Lucas that weekend. Ben's out of town and— Well, surely you can find someone to watch him. This is your sister's engagement we're talking about. You know how important family is. Family. The word tastes bitter in my mouth. Right, family. Speaking of which, Rachel mentioned you've been doing well at that little startup of yours. Maybe you could help with some of the wedding expenses? Your father's investments haven't been performing as expected, and Rachel deserves something special. The letter in my hand tears slightly under my grip. 5 years of climbing the corporate ladder, of juggling single motherhood with 60-hour work weeks, reduced to that little startup and an ATM opportunity. I'll have to check my finances, I say, my voice steady despite the tremor in my hands. The divorce and Lucas's therapy sessions have been expensive. Oh, Millie. Her sigh carries years of disappointment. If you'd just tried harder with Ben, Rachel always said he seemed unhappy. Of course she did. Rachel, who'd spent countless dinner parties flirting with my then-husband while I was busy taking care of Lucas's meltdowns. Rachel, who'd known about Sophie months before I did but never said a word. I should go, Mother. I have a meeting. Don't forget about next weekend. And please wear something professional. The Anderson & Mills partners will be there. The call ends, but the silence that follows feels louder than her words. I stare at my reflection in the darkened computer screen. 31 years old, successful by any objective measure, yet still searching for approval in all the wrong places. My phone buzzes again, this time with a text from Sarah. Drinks tonight? Michael's watching the kids. Before I can respond, an email notification pops up. It's from the company board, announcing my promotion to the entire staff. Congratulations flood my inbox. Colleagues stopping by my office with genuine smiles and warm words. Jack from marketing brings me my favorite coffee, a small post-it note stuck to the cup. They finally recognized what we all knew. Proud of you, Mills. I look at the torn promotion letter, then at Sarah's text, and finally at the family photo on my desk. Just Lucas and me at the beach last summer, both of us laughing at something long forgotten. The image blurs as tears prick my eyes, but for the first time today, they're not tears of frustration. I pick up my phone and text Sarah back. Definitely, I have news. And maybe an idea. Because here's the thing about being invisible. No one sees you coming. And after 31 years of playing the overlooked daughter, the forgiving sister, the dutiful ex-wife, maybe it's time to show them exactly who I've become. I smooth out the crumpled promotion letter and pin it to my wall, right next to Lucas's latest artwork. Let them keep underestimating me. Let them think I'm still that malleable, eager-to-please daughter. They'll learn soon enough. The wine glass trembles slightly in Sarah's hand as she processes what I've just told her. We're tucked away in our usual corner of Maxwell's, the Friday night crowd providing perfect cover for conversations better left unheard. $10,000. Sarah's whisper carries equal parts disbelief and outrage. For wedding flowers? That's just the deposit. I take a long sip of my martini. Mother called it a small contribution to Rachel's perfect day. And what did you say? I told her I'd think about it. The olive in my glass becomes suddenly fascinating. What else could I say? Sarah sets her wine down with more force than necessary. How about no? You're still paying off Lucas's occupational therapy, and Ben's child support payments are always late. They're my family, Sarah. Are they? Her voice softens. Because from where I'm sitting, they treat you more like their personal bank than their daughter. Before I can respond, my phone lights up with a text from Rachel. Hey sis, Mom said you're helping with the flowers. You're the best. Coffee tomorrow? Need to discuss some other wedding details. Sarah reads the message over my shoulder and makes a sound somewhere between a laugh and a scoff. Funny how she never wanted coffee when you were going through your divorce. The truth of it stings. I remember those endless nights, Lucas crying for his father while I tried to explain why Daddy lived with Aunt Sophie now. Rachel had been too busy with her law career to return my calls. I should go, I say, gathering my things. Lucas has therapy at 9 tomorrow. Millie, Sarah catches my wrist. Promise me you'll at least talk to Michael about the numbers before you commit to anything. He's good at finding the holes in these things. I promise, knowing I probably won't. The drive home is a blur of streetlights and memories, Rachel's law school graduation, where our parents gifted her a new car, my own graduation dinner, interrupted by Rachel's surprise announcement of her first internship. Lucas is already asleep when I get home, Michael having dropped him off earlier. His favorite dinosaur tucked under one arm. He looks so peaceful, so untouched by the complexities of adult relationships. I brush his hair back, wondering if my parents ever watched me sleep like this, if they ever felt this fierce need to protect. My phone buzzes again. This time it's my father. Millicent, he starts, using my full name like he always does when he wants something. Your mother mentioned you were hesitating about the flowers. I wasn't hesitating, Father. I was being practical. 10,000 is a lot of money. This is your sister's wedding. Surely your startup is doing well enough to help family? The dismissive pause before startup makes my teeth clench. We just secured Series B funding, but that doesn't mean... Excellent. Then it's settled. Your mother will connect you with the florist. Oh, and Rachel mentioned your meeting tomorrow. She has some thoughts about the venue deposit as well. The call ends before I can respond. I stand in Lucas's doorway, watching his chest rise and fall, thinking about the college fund I've been struggling to build for him, about the therapy sessions that insurance won't cover, about Rachel's designer wardrobe and my father's country club membership. My phone pings one last time. It's Jack from work. Hey Mills, board wants to announce your promotion at next month's investor meeting. They're excited about the PR angle, female CTO, single mom, real inspiration stuff. You okay with that? And suddenly, I see it. The leverage I've been missing. The way to make them finally see me. I text Rachel back, coffee sounds great, looking forward to discussing everything. Then I open my laptop and start researching my company's biggest investors. It takes less than an hour to find what I'm looking for: the connection between Anderson and Mills and our venture capital firm. The partnership offer Rachel's so proud of. The one our parents can't stop bragging about. The one that could disappear with a single well-placed comment at next month's investor meeting. I close the laptop feeling something shift inside me. Not guilt, exactly. More like recognition. Of power. Of possibility. "I'm sorry, baby," I whisper to Lucas's sleeping form. But sometimes mommy has to play by their rules to change the game. Tomorrow, I'll smile over coffee with Rachel. I'll nod at her plans and pretend to take notes about venues and deposits. And I'll start laying the groundwork for something my family never saw coming. Because they taught me well. Family helps family. They just never specified how. The engagement party invitation sits on my desk like a beautifully wrapped bomb. Cream-colored cardstock, gold lettering, and there in the corner, a tiny note in my mother's handwriting. "Sophie will be attending with Ben. Please be civil." Civil. As if I'm the one who needs the reminder. I'm still staring at it when Jack knocks on my office door. "Emergency meeting with the board in 10. Apparently, Anderson and Mills is making waves about our latest acquisition." My fingers trace the edge of the invitation. "Rachel's firm?" Yeah. Weird timing, right? They've never shown interest in our deals before. I slip the invitation into my drawer, something cold and certain settling in my chest. Weird indeed. The boardroom is tense when I arrive. Our CEO looks like he's aged 10 years since yesterday. "Millie, good. We need damage control. Anderson and Mills is threatening to block our merger unless we restructure the deal. They're claiming conflict of interest." "On what grounds?" "Your sister." He slides a document across the table. "Rachel Carter is listed as lead counsel on their objection." The room goes quiet. I scan the document, my sister's signature bold at the bottom. The same signature I've watched her practice since we were kids, perfecting every loop until it looked exactly like our mother's. "I can handle this," I say, my voice steadier than my hands. Later that afternoon, my phone rings. Ben's number. I almost let it go to voicemail, but Lucas's therapy bills flash through my mind. "You're late with the payment again," I answer. "Yeah, about that." His voice has that smooth quality it always gets when he's about to disappoint someone. "Sophie and I are putting money down on a house. I might need to adjust the payment schedule." Adjust? The word tastes like acid. Lucas's therapy isn't optional, Ben. "Come on, Mills. You're doing well at that tech thing. And with Rachel's wedding coming up?" "What does Rachel's wedding have to do with your son's care?" A pause. "Sophie mentioned you're handling the flowers. 10 grand, right? If you can afford that." The laugh that escapes me doesn't sound entirely sane. "You're using my sister's wedding flowers to justify shorting your child support?" "Don't be dramatic. I'm just saying—" "No, I'll tell you what I'm saying. You'll make the full payment on time, or I'll have my lawyer contact Anderson and Mills about revisiting the custody arrangement. I'm sure Rachel would love to handle that case too." The silence that follows is satisfying until he breaks it with, "Sophie's pregnant." The world tilts sideways. I grip my desk, wedding invitation sliding from the drawer as I steady myself. "Congratulations," I manage. "The payment is due Tuesday." I end the call and text Sarah. "Need you? Now." She responds immediately. "On my way. Michael's got the kids." I'm still sitting there when Jack returns. "Hey, the board wants to know how you want to handle the Rachel situation. Jesus, Mills, you're white as a sheet." "I'm fine." I stand, smoothing my skirt. "Tell them I'll present a strategy tomorrow. And Jack, could you pull everything we have on Anderson and Mills's partner track requirements, specifically their conflict of interest policies?" He gives me an odd look, but nods. Sarah arrives as I'm gathering my things. One look at my face, and she wraps me in a hug that nearly breaks me. "Sophie's pregnant," I whisper into her shoulder. "Oh, honey." "And Rachel's trying to block my company's merger." She pulls back, eyes sharp. "What are you going to do?" I think about the invitation in my drawer, about Lucas's therapy sessions, about Ben's new house and baby and perfect Sophie, about Rachel's partnership track and my parents' pride. "I'm going to attend my sister's engagement party," I say, picking up my bag. "And I'm going to smile and congratulate Ben and Sophie. And then I'm going to remind my family exactly who they've been underestimating all these years." Sarah studies me for a long moment. "Just remember Lucas in all this." "I am." I touch the photo of him on my desk. Everything I do is for him. And maybe it's time he saw his mother stand up for herself. As we leave, I send a quick text to my mother. About the flowers, I'll handle everything. And don't worry about Ben and Sophie, I'll be perfectly civil. Because that's the thing about civility. It's the perfect cover for warfare. And I've just been handed all the ammunition I need. The engagement party feels like a carefully choreographed dance of daggers. Crystal glasses catch the light, conversations buzz with artificial warmth, and there in the center of it all stands Rachel, radiant in designer white, while Sophie rests one manicured hand on her still flat stomach. Millie. My mother's voice carries that familiar note of criticism. You're late. Lucas's therapy ran long. I accept a glass of champagne from a passing waiter, noting how my mother's eyes narrow at the mention of her grandson. Where's father? Discussing the Anderson and Mills situation with Rachel's partners. She lowers her voice. Really, Millicent, couldn't you have handled that merger more discreetly? It's putting Rachel in such an awkward position. Before I can respond, Jack appears at my elbow. Sorry to interrupt, Mrs. Carter, but I need to borrow Millie for a moment. Board emergency. My mother's dismissive wave follows us as Jack guides me to a quiet corner. You need to see this. He hands me his phone, displaying an email thread. Rachel's not just blocking the merger. She's suggesting a hostile takeover through one of Anderson and Mills's clients. The champagne turns bitter in my mouth. She wouldn't. There's more. Jack scrolls down. The partner overseeing the deal, Tom Carter. My father, of course. Across the room, Ben laughs at something Sophie says, his hand protective over her abdomen. Rachel joins them, all three heads bent together in conspiratorial intimacy. What's our play? Jack asks. Give me an hour. I hand him back his phone. And Jack? Thank you. For everything. He squeezes my arm before disappearing into the crowd. I find Michael by the bar, his steady presence an anchor in the storm. Where's Sarah? Home with Lucas. He was asking for you. Michael studies my face. What's wrong? I need a favor. I tell him about the takeover attempt, about my father's involvement. Can you look into Anderson and Mills's financials, specifically any connections to Carter family investments? Jesus, Millie. He runs a hand through his hair. This isn't just business anymore. This is your family. They stopped being family the moment I catch myself as Rachel approaches. Millie, I've been looking everywhere for you. Her smile is perfect, practiced. We need to discuss the venue deposit. Mother says you're handling it? Actually, I set down my glass. We need to discuss Anderson and Mills. Her smile flickers. That's just business, sis. Nothing personal. Like Sophie wasn't personal? The words hang between us, sharp and dangerous. Rachel's mask slips just for a moment, revealing something that looks almost like guilt. You don't understand, she whispers. Father's investments. The wedding. We need this deal. And suddenly everything clicks into place. The desperate grab for the merger, the rushed wedding plans, the constant demands for money. My family isn't just greedy. They're drowning. Miss Carter? A young associate appears. Your father needs you both in the study, immediately. The study is father's domain, all leather and mahogany and old money pretense. He stands at his desk, mother perched anxiously nearby. Shut the door, he commands. I do, feeling like I'm 10 years old again, about to be scolded for some imagined slight against Rachel. The merger, he begins, must go through, under our terms. Or what? The words escape before I can stop them. Or this family loses everything. He spreads documents across his desk. Bank statements, investment reports, all bleeding red. Your sister's partnership, the house, your mother's social standing, all of it depends on this deal. And Lucas's trust fund, Rachel adds quietly, the one Ben set up through father's firm. The room spins slightly. You put my son's money into your failing investments? We had no choice, mother interjects. Rachel's wedding, her career trajectory, we had to maintain appearances. I look at them, these people who share my blood but not my values, who gambled with my child's future to maintain their facade of success. I'll have my answer tomorrow, I say, turning to leave. Millicent, father's voice stops me. Remember where your loyalties lie. I think of Lucas, waiting at home with Sarah, of Jack, who believed in me when no one else did, of the life I've built despite them, not because of them. I remember exactly where my loyalties lie, I say, and close the door behind me. In my car, I text Michael, "Start digging. I want everything." Because some loyalties need to be broken before they break you. Michael's research arrives at 3 in the morning, a detailed email that makes my hands shake. I forward it to Jack with 2 words, board meeting. By dawn, I'm in my office, staring at the skyline as the sun bleeds across the horizon. The door opens without a knock. "You can't do this," Rachel says, still in her evening wear from whatever society function she's attended. "Father will never recover." Like Lucas won't recover from losing his trust fund? I don't turn around. "How long have you known about the embezzlement?" Her silence is answer enough. "Did Sophie know too? Is that why she stayed with Ben after the affair? Because father was funneling company money through his accounts?" It's not that simple. Rachel's heels click across the floor. Everything father did, he did for us, for the family name. No. I finally face her. Everything he did for you. And now you want me to save him by tanking my company's merger. We can make it work. She pulls out a folder. "I have a proposal if you'll just..." "Miss Carter?" Jack appears in the doorway. "The board is ready." Rachel grabs my arm as I pass. "Please, don't do this." For a moment, I see past the designer dress and perfect makeup to the little sister who used to crawl into my bed during thunderstorms. Then I remember Lucas's therapy bills, Ben's late payments, my parents' constant dismissal. "You should call father," I say. "The SEC will be visiting Anderson and Mills this afternoon." The boardroom falls silent as I enter. These people trusted me, promoted me, believed in me when my own family wouldn't. I won't let them down. The merger is compromised. I begin, laying out Michael's findings. Anderson and Mills has been covering illegal transactions through shell companies. My voice catches. I feel Jack's supportive presence beside me. Thomas Carter has been orchestrating it for years. The evidence is irrefutable. Board members exchange glances. My phone buzzes repeatedly. Mother, father, Ben. I ignore them all. "We'll need to distance ourselves immediately," our CEO says. "Millie, given your connection..." I understand. I slide a folder across the table. My resignation, effective immediately. Actually, he shares a look with the other board members. We had something else in mind. Hours later, I pull into Sarah's driveway. Lucas runs out, throwing himself into my arms. "Mommy, Aunt Sarah let me have pizza for breakfast." Sarah appears in the doorway, concern etched on her face. "Michael told me what happened. Are you okay?" "No." I hug Lucas tighter. "But I will be." My phone rings again. Rachel. This time I answer. "They're arresting him," she sobs. "Father's being arrested, and mother's having a breakdown, and it's all over the news, and..." "Rachel." My voice is steady, surprising even me. "I have to go. Lucas needs dinner." "How can you be so cold? We're your family." "No." I watch Lucas showing Sarah his latest drawing. "You're the people who used my son's trust fund to cover up fraud, who used my company to fix your mistakes, who never once..." I swallow hard. "Who never once put me first." "The board made you CEO, didn't they?" Her voice turns hard. "This was your plan all along." "Goodbye, Rachel." Inside, Lucas chatters about his day while Sarah makes coffee. My phone lights up with a text from Jack. "Press conference tomorrow at 9. You ready for this?" Another text arrives from Ben. "We need to talk about Lucas's custody arrangement." Then Mother. "How could you do this to your father?" Finally, Father. "You'll regret this betrayal." I silence my phone and sit at Sarah's kitchen table, watching Lucas color. He looks up, smiling that innocent smile that makes everything worth it. "Mommy, are you sad?" "No, baby." I touch his cheek. "I'm just thinking about choices. Like when you choose pizza or hamburgers. Something like that." I pull him close, breathing in his clean, sweet scent. "Sometimes you have to choose between what's easy and what's right." Sarah squeezes my shoulder as she sets down coffee. "You chose right, Mills." My phone screen lights up one last time. A news alert about Anderson and Mills, about my father, about the new CEO appointment at my company, about choices and consequences and the price of truth. I turn the phone face down. Tomorrow will bring its own battles. Tonight is for pizza and coloring and the family I chose, not the one I was born into. Sometimes revenge looks like justice, and sometimes justice looks like walking away. The hospital ceiling swims in and out of focus as I try to make sense of the doctor's words. Stress-induced collapse, severe exhaustion, mandatory rest. Jack stands in the doorway, his usual confidence replaced by worry. The press conference. Can wait, Sarah interrupts, adjusting my IV. She needs rest. My phone lights up. Rachel's name again. I've lost count of her calls since Father's arrest 3 days ago. The room spins when I try to reach for it. Lucas, I manage to whisper. Who's with Lucas? Michael has him, Sarah assures me. But your parents? No. The word comes out sharper than intended. They can't have him. They're his grandparents, Mills, and with you here. The door opens, and Mother sweeps in, perfectly coiffed despite everything. Millicent, really. Hospitalized right before Rachel's business launch. The timing is incredibly inconvenient. Sarah's hand tightens on the bed rail. Jack mutters something about getting coffee and escapes. Mother, I try to sit up, fighting the dizziness. I need you to watch Lucas, just for a few days. Oh, darling. She adjusts her designer scarf. We simply can't. Rachel needs us at the launch. It's crucial for rebuilding our reputation after what you did to your father. The monitor beside me beeps faster. What I did? Well, if you hadn't been so vindictive. But that's not important now. We've arranged for Lucas to stay with Ben and Sophie. They're expecting their own child, after all. It'll be good practice. The room goes cold. You did what? Ben's already picked him up from Michael. Sophie's so good with children, and really, it's better for Lucas to be with stable parents right now. I rip the IV from my arm, ignoring the sharp sting. You had no right. Actually, Ben appears in the doorway. I had every right. My lawyer filed for emergency custody an hour ago. Given your current state and the scandal with your family, the floor seems to tilt beneath me as I stand. Sarah grabs my elbow, steadying me. Where is my son? Safe, Ben says. With Sophie, away from all this mess you've created. My legs give out. Sarah catches me before I hit the floor, helping me back to the bed. The room spins violently. It's temporary, Ben continues, almost gentle. Until you're better. Sophie's already enrolled him in a new therapy program. One that won't embarrass the family, Mother adds. Really, Millicent? Art therapy? What would people think? I look at them. My mother in her perfect outfit, Ben in his expensive suit, and see strangers. People who've taken everything, piece by piece, and still want more. Get out. My voice shakes. Both of you. Millie, Ben starts. Get out. They leave. Mother's heels clicking a sharp rhythm, Ben's cologne lingering like a threat. Sarah pulls out her phone. I'm calling Michael. We'll get him back, Mills. Don't. I close my eyes against the tears. They'll use any interference against me in court. You know they will. The silence that follows is broken only by the steady beep of monitors. Jack returns, coffee forgotten. The board, he says quietly. They're reconsidering your position, with everything happening. Of course they are. Father's arrest, my collapse, the custody battle about to explode across headlines. I've become a liability to the very company I helped build. My phone buzzes again. Rachel. I'm sorry about Lucas, but you brought this on yourself. Then Mother. It's for the best, darling. Sophie will be a wonderful influence. Finally, Ben. We'll take good care of him. Maybe this time apart will help you reflect. I think of Lucas with Sophie, learning to call her Mom, of my father in jail, my mother at Rachel's launch, my sister building her business on the ashes of my sacrifice, of everything I've lost in my quest for justice. Mills? Sarah's voice seems far away. What do you need? I need my son. I need my family to love me as much as they love their reputation. I need the past month to disappear. But what I say is, time. I need time. Because revenge was supposed to feel like victory. Instead, it feels like this. A hospital room, an empty bed, and the sound of my world crumbling while monitors count each hollow heartbeat. The boardroom feels different at midnight, colder. The city lights below cast shadows across Rachel's face as she stands at the window, her perfect posture finally showing cracks. "They're freezing our accounts," she says without turning. "All of them. The FBI says father's fraud went deeper than anyone realized." I set my laptop on the conference table. I know. Now she does turn, mascara smudged beneath her eyes. "Of course you do. You're the CEO now, aren't you? Everything you wanted." "Not everything." My voice stays steady. "Where's Lucas?" "Safe, with Sophie." She moves to the table, heels silent on the thick carpet. "Mother's having another breakdown. The launch failed. Everything's falling apart and you're just watching. Like you watched when Ben left, when Lucas needed therapy, when father gambled away his trust fund." Her hand trembles as she reaches for my laptop. "If you help us, maybe we can fix—" "No." I close the laptop before she can touch it. "I'm done fixing your messes." "He's asking for you," she whispers. "Lucas. He doesn't understand why mommy's not coming home." The words hit like physical blows, but I grip the chair until my knuckles whiten. "Ben's custody claim won't stand. Not now." "What do you mean?" I push a folder across the table. "Sophie's pregnant, but not with Ben's baby. The dates don't match. And her new therapy program for Lucas, unlicensed, run by her cousin. The same cousin who's been helping father hide money." Rachel sinks into a chair. "How did you—" "I learned from the best. Family helps family, right?" The elevator dings. Ben storms in, Sophie trailing behind him. "You vindictive bitch. You told the FBI about Sophie's clinic?" "No." I stand slowly. "I told them about the money laundering. The clinic was just a bonus." Sophie's face crumples. "Ben, I'm sorry. I never meant—" "Shut up." He rounds on me. "Where's the evidence?" "Already submitted, along with proof that you knew about father's fraud when you filed for emergency custody, trying to hide Lucas before it all came out." His fist slams the table. Rachel flinches. Sophie backs away. "You've ruined everything," he snarls. "No." My voice rises. "You did that. All of you. Every time you chose your reputations over my son. Every time you protected your perfect facade instead of protecting him." Mills. Jack appears in the doorway. "They're here." FBI agents flood the room. Rachel starts crying. Sophie confesses everything in a rush. Ben threatens lawyers until handcuffs click around his wrists. Through it all, I stand still, watching my family's carefully constructed world crumble. "Millie." Rachel catches my arm as they lead Ben away. "Please, help me fix this." For a moment, I see us as children again, Rachel running to me after skinning her knee, trusting her big sister to make everything better. "I can't." I gentle my voice. "Some things shouldn't be fixed." "Then why?" Her grip tightens. "Why did you wait until now? You had the evidence for weeks." "Because I needed to know if any of you would choose Lucas. Just once. But you didn't. You never do." Sarah appears with Michael, who carries a sleeping Lucas. My heart stops, then restarts. "The judge signed the order," Sarah says. "Full custody reinstated. Sophie confessed to everything." Lucas stirs as Michael hands him to me. "Mommy, can we go home now?" "Yes, baby." I kiss his forehead, breathing in his familiar scent. We're going home. Rachel watches, tears streaming. "What happens to us?" "You rebuild, without me." I adjust Lucas in my arms. Some families aren't worth saving. "Millie, goodbye, Rachel." I carry Lucas out, past the agents, past Sophie's tears and Ben's threats and the ruins of my father's empire. Sarah and Michael flank me like guards. Jack holds the elevator. "You okay?" he asks as we descend. Lucas snuggles closer, already falling back asleep. Safe. Finally safe. "No," I answer honestly, "but I will be, because revenge wasn't what I thought it would be. It wasn't loud or triumphant or satisfying. It was this: quiet choices in midnight boardrooms, truth instead of facades, the weight of my sleeping son in my arms, and maybe, finally, peace." The newspaper sits untouched on my desk. Father's sentencing hearing splashed across the front page. Rachel's text remains unread. "Mother's asking for you. Please come home." Home. Such a simple word for such a complicated concept. Lucas burst into my office, brandishing a drawing. Look, Mommy, it's our family. I study the crayon figures. Me, Lucas, Sarah, and Michael, their kids, Jack holding what appears to be a coffee cup. The edges of the paper are decorated with dinosaurs. It's beautiful, baby. I touch the empty corner. Is there room for more? He considers this seriously. Maybe. But only if they're nice. Miss Amy says we don't have to keep people who make us sad. Miss Amy, his new therapist, who specializes in art and doesn't care about what society thinks, who sees Lucas's sensitivity as a strength, not an embarrassment. Mills? Jack appears in the doorway. Rachel's here. Lucas grips my hand. Is she nice now? I don't know, baby. I squeeze his fingers. Want to help me find out? He nods solemnly. Rachel stands by the window, thinner than I remember, designer clothes replaced by simple jeans and a sweater. She turns when we enter, eyes fixing on Lucas. Hi, buddy, she says softly. Remember me? Lucas studies her, head tilted. You made Mommy cry. Rachel flinches. I did. I made a lot of mistakes. Mother's in therapy, she continues, addressing me now. Real therapy, not the kind we used to mock. Father's accepting a plea deal, and She swallows hard. I'm starting over. A small practice, helping families navigate custody battles, trying to prevent what we did to you. We? The word hangs between us. I knew about Sophie's clinic, about Ben's plans for Lucas. I could have stopped it, but I was so angry that you'd succeeded where I'd failed, that you'd built something real while I was still playing the role they chose for me. Lucas tugs my hand. Can I show her my drawing? I nod. He presents it proudly. Rachel traces the crayon figures. It's wonderful. You're very talented. There's room for more, he announces, but only if you're nice. A tear slides down Rachel's cheek. I'd like to try, if your mom lets me. I study my sister, really study her. The perfectionist facade has cracked, revealing something raw and real underneath, something that might, with time and work, become authentic. Sunday dinners, I say finally. At Sarah and Michael's, once a month. We start there. She nods, understanding the terms, the boundaries, the chance that must be earned, not demanded. Can I? She hesitates. Can I hug him? I look at Lucas. He considers, then steps forward, offering a brief embrace before retreating to my side. Thank you, Rachel whispers. After she leaves, Lucas adds a small figure to his drawing's corner. That's Aunt Rachel, he explains, but I used yellow instead of red, because she's trying to be sunny instead of angry. I pin the drawing next to my degrees and awards, evidence of a different kind of success. Sarah texts, monthly dinner still on, Michael's grilling, Jack's bringing that woman from accounting. Lucas requested dinosaur-shaped nuggets. I smile, remembering Mother's horror at chicken nuggets on fine china, at therapy sessions instead of society parties, at a CEO who chooses finger paintings over family legacy. Another text arrives, from Ben's lawyer. Client accepts revised custody agreement. No appeals. Then Rachel. Thank you for the chance. I won't waste it. Finally, a message from an unknown number. Miss you, sis. Sophie. I delete the last one without responding. Some bridges stay burned. Lucas tugs my sleeve. Can we go home now? I want to show Miss Amy my new drawing tomorrow. Yes, baby. I gather my things, leaving the newspaper unread. Let's go home. Because revenge wasn't in the destruction after all. It was in the rebuilding. In choosing which walls to repair and which to leave in ruins. In teaching my son that family isn't about blood or obligation, but about the people who make space in their drawings for you. Even if that space starts small, in the corner, drawn in yellow instead of red.